Hey, church family, thank you for joining us for today's Daily Connection video. As we were talking about throughout this kind of series, talking about avoiding pitfalls, and this week specifically talking about avoiding the pitfall of bitterness. And if we're going to avoid a pitfall of bitterness, we got to avoid maybe the circumstances that lead to bitterness. And so we're going to be looking at Ephesians chapter 4, verse 26 through 27. In this passage, Paul writes, "Be angry and do not sin. Do not let the sun go down on your anger. And don't give the devil an opportunity." So as Paul is writing here, he's telling us that we can be angry, but to do it and not sin. And so anger can be both good and bad. For instance, we see in the Gospels, specifically we see Mark 3 and in 11 and John 2, we see that Jesus got angry at different people for profaning God's name, for kind of messing up the temple, his father's house, and really showing little respect or fear for the Lord. And Jesus got angry at those people, but he didn't sin as he was being angry with those people. You see, Jesus' anger was for righteous reasons. It was a righteous anger. He was good and he was right in being angry about that. Jesus' anger was not selfish anger. And that's really the difference between good anger and bad anger. Good anger is a righteous anger. But here, the anger that Paul is talking about that we need to avoid is selfish anger. Selfish anger is coming out of us not getting a want or a need in some way. Sometimes, even though those needs are important things, if that's where our anger comes from, then it is a selfish anger. And what we need to remember is while it's appropriate to be angry for righteous reasons, the moment that our anger is selfishly driven, we give the devil a foothold in our life. And that foothold in our life eventually will lead to bitterness. Our author gives us a couple of questions to look at. The first one says, in your own words, how would you differentiate between righteous and selfish anger? We've kind of talked about it here, but how would you put that in your own words? And the second question, why is anger such an important issue? I think obviously we know it's an important issue because anger can lead to bitterness, but anger can also separate friendships. Anger can ruin our witness. There are tons of reasons why it's an important issue. I hope that you'll take a moment to think through those, examine your own life, and see where maybe you have been angry, and how you can do that, and see whether it was righteous or selfish. Church family, as you do that, we want you to know that we love you and we're praying for you.